My name is Kiersten Soderman, and I've been going to the well for a little over 3 years. I wasn't a believer before coming. Garrett and I had kind of been, he kind of tried to kind of steer me towards going to church a little bit more, and we had tried some places out. We still had like a lot of questions. I didn't grow up in church, so I wouldn't say I was an atheist. I was curious, but I definitely wasn't at a place where I was ready to start to like kind of explore a little bit. And then my friend who knew Natalie and had gone to the well a little bit, her name was Heather. She had a baptism and it was like early 2013, and she invited me to her baptism at the well. I think it was one of the very first baptisms that the well did. And so I went to that, and there was like a sermon ahead of time, and then the baptism. And Heather actually moved after that, but I told Garrett I wanted to keep going. And so we just kind of kept going every Sunday. I got connected with Jake and Lauren Ridley and went to a community group there. In between mostly them and everyone in community group and Natalie and Tori, and I just kind of, I was inspired to just keep going and keep exploring and asking questions. And it took me a while, but I think it was about 6 months after having gone to the well, and exploring and asking questions and things like that, I said, all right. I remember going out with Natalie for lunch, and I had a whole page of all these questions to ask, and it was great. We just like an awesome conversation, and I kind of remember just being like, okay, yep, I believe now. Few years, we were in South Carolina, then moved to Texas, and again I was not getting better. It was getting to the point of, I needed to be in recovery. It was just ruining our lives, and I was really sick and tired of being sick and tired all the time. I just wanted, it's like your brain is just going. Your brain is always on, okay, when's the next time I'm gonna exercise? What am I gonna eat for dinner? What am I gonna eat for lunch? You're just like consumed by these thoughts in my brain. After 9 years, my brain was I was just so tired. So I went back to a treatment facility here in Austin. So I started this treatment program in the fall of 2012, and then it was in maybe February of 2013 is when my friend Heather invited me to the well for her baptism. So I'd kind of been, through the past few months, kind of like, all right, maybe this is something I want to think about more. And then the whole story with, coming to the well and really falling in love with the people and just feeling like it was a good fit and like I belonged. And it was definitely a hard time through treatment. It always is. There's, like I said, your brain's just. It's something, especially when you've had an eating disorder for that long, it's really hard to let go of the control and of kind of what it makes you feel like. I just felt like I could be so open with everyone at the well, and like there was no judgment. Like I was very open with my story, and this is where I've been, and this is where I am now. These are the questions I have, and being able to do that was really, and I was able to kind of really maintain. That's a hard time when you first get out of treatment, when you're really kind of all by yourself. It's a very kind of fragile time when relapse could very well happen. And so I think, again, I think really having the well and my community there and being in the journey of seeking God helped me to kind of stay on the right path and know that I didn't want to kind of keep the strength to not fall back into my eating disorder again. And I kind of knew, I had a feeling, all right, I've been, I'd been hurting my body for 9 years, that there might be some issues. So we kind of knew that going into it. But, I think we both knew that we wanted to have kids. So we'd been, trying for a year and a few months. We'd gone through, just me being on medicine and trying naturally. We had done a few IUIs, and we had done one clinical trial, doing an IVF where I had surgery to do an egg retrieval, and we had an embryo implanted, and essentially had like a very early miscarriage with that. And that was a hard time to go through. I was able to find him through that struggle, so I can see the reasons why now, being on the other side of it, why he put me through that. But when you're in the middle of something, so then when I was put into the middle of infertility, it was hard to see again, why is this happening? And I knew, like Lauren and Natalie and my friends, everyone kept telling me, he has a plan for you and something wonderful and good. You just can't see it right now. So she called me back the next day and was like, well, we know why you didn't start your period. You're pregnant. And I think I was really just it was like utter shock. I think I asked her, I don't know how many times I asked, are you sure? Are you serious? Yeah, like I was just, it was kind of just like shock of, and I was at work, and I remember sitting in my office, like just almost like jaw just hanging open, like I couldn't believe it. And but to be completely honest, I mean, my first thought after being in like utter shock was like, this is a miracle. Like God just gave us a child. This is like a complete miracle. I mean, I never would have thought that would happen just like naturally without. It was like, we're probably gonna have to go through tons of cycles of IVF to be able to get pregnant. And so it was really just overcome with this like, I had this glory of like that God really loved me, and like that just this feeling of like, this is what a miracle is. Like this is what God can do in people's lives. I think he's really taught me a lot through everything I've been through. And I know it's not the worst, both an eating disorder and infertility. I mean, lots of people go through them, and it's not the worst thing, but they're still my struggles and my story, and God had a super significant role to play in that. Yeah, so I'm super excited. I think he's, again, taught me tons through everything I've been through, and I'm excited to see, what else he's gonna do in my life and throw my way, and I'm kind of willing to go along for the ride now, and trust that he's gonna be there for me, and he's not gonna let me stray.